Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering when exactly your body started feeling off? Maybe it wasn't one single moment. Maybe it was a slow drift, a little less energy in the mornings, a bit more stiffness in your back, pants that feel tighter even though you're not eating any differently. Maybe you've even begun avoiding mirrors or stepping on the scale because neither feels like a friend these days. If that sounds familiar, you are in the company of millions of others who are quietly grappling with the same thoughts. You're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You're human. And as we move through our 40s, 50s, and beyond, the body begins to respond differently to the choices we once made without consequence. What once worked, skipping meals, burning the candle at both ends, crashing on the weekend, now just leaves us drained, foggy, and frustrated. At some point, many of us reach a place where we say, enough. We want change. Real change. Not a crash diet. Not another pill. Not another confusing headline that promises the world and delivers nothing but disappointment. But real, lasting, sustainable change. The kind that brings you back to yourself. Back to the person you remember being, before life got in the way. But here's the dilemma. When you finally feel ready to make a change, where do you begin? There's an avalanche of information out there. Keto, paleo, fasting, supplements, superfoods, sleep hacks, workout regimens. It's loud, conflicting, and most of it seems designed for people half your age with twice your free time. You don't need more confusion. You need clarity. Let me tell you something most people don't hear often enough. Your body is not broken. It is not past saving. In fact, it is more resilient than you've been led to believe. You are not stuck. There is a reset button. Not a magic one, not an instant one, but a biological, natural one that your body is already equipped with. It's built into your design, and with the right triggers, it can help you recover, rebuild, and renew your health. The problem is, most of us have spent decades turning that system off. We've been too stressed, too busy, too distracted, and honestly, too misled by modern food and lifestyle habits. We've been running the wrong software, and over time, the body begins to slow down, accumulate inflammation, hold on to harmful fat, and feel like it's operating on a low battery. But here's the good news. That original system, the one that knows how to burn fat naturally, fight off disease, balance your hormones, and energize your cells, it's still there. It's just waiting for the right signals to come back online. In this series, you're going to learn exactly how to give your body those signals. You'll discover 5 powerful foods and practices that have been scientifically shown to activate your metabolism, reduce inflammation, and restore the natural defenses that keep you strong, lean, and mentally sharp. These aren't exotic ingredients or expensive therapies. They're practical, time-tested strategies that can fit into your life starting today. Think of this as a journey back to yourself, a way to return to that version of you who felt more alive, more capable, more grounded. This is not about chasing youth or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about reclaiming the wisdom of your body, the strength of your spirit, and the clarity of your mind. You don't need a complete life overhaul. What you need is a new understanding of what's possible and the right steps to make it happen. I've spent decades studying the science of healing, and I want to share with you what really works, not just in a lab, but in real life, for real people like you. So take a breath. Slow down. You've already done the hardest part. You've decided to listen. From here, every step forward is a step toward feeling better, stronger, and more in control of your health. And it all starts now. When most people hear the word fat, they think of something they want to get rid of. Something that jiggles, clings to the waistline, and makes clothing feel tighter. But what if I told you that not all fat is the enemy? In fact, some fat is absolutely essential to your survival and could even be the key to turning your health around. Your body carries two main types of fat. The one most people are familiar with is white fat. It stores excess energy from the food you eat. White fat can sit under your skin, in places like your belly, hips, thighs, arms, and face. That's called subcutaneous fat. But it can also gather around your internal organs, deep inside your abdomen. This is called visceral fat, and it's the more dangerous kind. It doesn't just sit there quietly, it's metabolically active, meaning it releases harmful compounds that increase inflammation, stress your organs, and raise your risk for serious diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and dementia. Now here's the good news. Your body also contains another type of fat, brown fat. This one is very different. Instead of storing energy, brown fat burns it. Think of it as the body's internal furnace. It's brown because it's packed with mitochondria, the tiny engines in your cells that produce energy. These mitochondria are loaded with iron, and when iron oxidizes, it gives fat that darker color. But it's what brown fat does that makes it truly remarkable. When activated, brown fat produces heat. It turns on a process called thermogenesis, where it burns calories to keep your body warm. Babies have a lot of it to help regulate temperature, but adults still carry small pockets of brown fat around the neck, behind the breastbone, between the shoulder blades, and near the kidneys. Here's the miracle. Brown fat doesn't just burn calories randomly. It pulls energy from the harmful white fat stored around your belly and organs. So when your brown fat is active, it's actually helping to reduce the very type of fat that contributes to disease and inflammation. It's like your body has a built-in mechanism to clean itself from the inside out. You just have to know how to switch it on. So how do you do that? One powerful way is through exposure to cold. Your body naturally activates brown fat when it needs to stay warm. That's why practices like cold showers, sleeping in cooler rooms, or even spending time outside in cooler temperatures can help stimulate brown fat activity. It might sound uncomfortable at first, but even mild cooling can make a difference over time. But temperature isn't the only way to activate brown fat. Certain foods and natural compounds have been shown to trigger this powerful tissue. These include ingredients that are part of everyday diets, things you might already have in your kitchen. And we'll explore these foods in the next part of this series. For now, the most important thing to understand is this: not all fat is bad. In fact, your brown fat is one of your greatest allies in the fight against weight gain, fatigue, and inflammation. It's part of your body's original blueprint for survival, a built-in tool for balance, energy, and protection. When you start to see your body not as something broken, but as something intelligently designed with built-in systems of repair, everything changes. You shift from fighting your body to working with it, from frustration to understanding, and from defeat to quiet, steady progress. You don't need to starve yourself or run marathons to burn fat. You need to unlock the systems your body already has. Brown fat is one of those systems. And once you understand how to activate it, you'll realize that burning harmful fat isn't just possible, it's natural. You've learned that brown fat is your secret weapon against harmful white fat. Now, let's talk about how to wake it up using something you already do every day: eating. Yes, the right foods can actually trigger your brown fat to burn more energy, lower inflammation, and help you feel better in ways that go far beyond your waistline. Let's start with something familiar. Coffee. That warm, comforting cup you reach for in the morning might be doing more for you than just helping you feel awake. Coffee beans contain powerful natural compounds called polyphenols. One of the most important is chlorogenic acid. This compound has been shown to activate brown fat and support a process called thermogenesis. That means when you drink coffee, especially black coffee without added sugar or heavy cream, you're sending a signal to your body to start burning harmful, visceral fat. How much coffee does it take to activate brown fat? Research suggests that drinking 3 to 4 cups of black coffee daily can stimulate this internal furnace. It doesn't mean you need to chug coffee all day long, but if you enjoy it in moderation, especially early in the day, you may be giving your metabolism a helpful boost. Another food with powerful fat-burning properties is oatmeal. Not the kind that comes in a sugar-loaded packet, but real oats, boiled or steamed, with little or no sweetener. Oats contain two major bioactive compounds, avenanthramides and beta-glucan. These substances have been shown to reduce inflammation and even support healing inside the body. In laboratory studies, oat extracts have helped wounds heal faster, with less scarring and more blood vessel growth. That means oats don't just feed you, they help your body repair itself. But it gets better. Those same bioactives also contribute to better blood flow, more stable insulin levels, and a stronger response to metabolic stress. All of this supports your brown fat's ability to do its job. In other words, your breakfast bowl might be more powerful than you think. Let's also talk about polyphenol-rich foods like berries, dark chocolate, and green tea. These are not just flavorful additions to your diet, they're metabolic allies. The polyphenols in these foods help reduce inflammation, protect your cells, and, yes, trigger brown fat activation. Even spices like cinnamon and cayenne pepper can play a role by increasing your body's thermogenic response and supporting blood sugar balance. And here's an important point. Activating brown fat is not about eating less. It's about eating smart. It's not a starvation game. It's about giving your body the ingredients it needs to work the way it was designed to. These foods don't force your metabolism. They invite it. They open the door for your brown fat to turn on naturally, gently, in sync with your body's rhythms. This is how you begin to shift from a life of battling your body to working with it. You're not just consuming calories, you're communicating with your cells. You're sending messages through every bite, every sip, and those messages can be either helpful or harmful. So take a moment to reflect. What would happen if every meal you ate wasn't just about satisfying hunger, but about healing, activating, and empowering your body? That's the mindset shift that transforms your relationship with food. It becomes nourishment, not punishment. A tool, not a trap. The truth is, the food industry has trained many of us to crave the wrong things. Sugary cereals, processed snacks, oversized portions. But once you start to feel the difference that real, natural, bioactive-rich foods make, your body will guide you back. You'll want to eat better, not because you're forcing yourself, but because it feels better. It's like switching from fog to clarity, from fatigue to energy. So the next time you make your morning coffee or sit down with a bowl of oats, know this: you're not just eating, you're healing. You're activating the part of you that still knows how to thrive. Most people think that burning fat means more movement, more exercise, and more sweat. But what if some of the most effective fat burning happens not when you're working harder, but when you're doing nothing at all? Not eating? Not even awake? Let's start with a truth that surprises many. Your body is already fasting every single day. When you go to sleep at night, you stop eating. That period between your last bite and your first meal the next day is a natural fast. And during that time, your metabolism does something incredible. It shifts into fat-burning mode. The longer that window of fasting, the more opportunity your body has to use up stored energy, especially the kind stored in harmful visceral fat. This is the foundation of intermittent fasting. It's not a fad. It's not starvation, it's a return to something very natural. For centuries, humans have gone without food for stretches of time, sometimes by necessity, sometimes as part of cultural or spiritual practices, and modern science now confirms what ancient wisdom always suspected. Fasting helps the body heal. But what does that mean for someone in their 50s or 60s who just wants to feel better, drop a few pounds, and think more clearly? It means you can begin simply. If you finish dinner by 7 in the evening and don't eat again until 7 the next morning, you've already completed a 12-hour fast. Add 1 more hour in the morning before breakfast, and now you're at 13. Push it to lunch, and you've hit 16 hours, a threshold that science suggests triggers deep metabolic benefits, including increased fat burning and reduced insulin resistance. The beauty is, you don't have to schedule your life around fasting. You build it into your routine. Sleep becomes your anchor. And the better your sleep, the more effective your fasting becomes. Let's talk about sleep for a moment. Many people underestimate how vital it is for metabolism and weight control. While you're sleeping deeply, your insulin levels drop, your body temperature falls slightly, and your brain clears out metabolic waste. But most importantly for fat loss, your body starts to pull energy from stored reserves. If you're not eating, your body needs fuel. And where does it go? First, to that unwanted white fat. So sleep is not wasted time. It's not passive. It's an active state of repair and recalibration, but only if you sleep well. Poor sleep, especially when it's consistent, throws off your hormones, raises cortisol, and signals your body to store fat instead of burn it. 1 or 2 nights of bad sleep, you recover. Chronic bad sleep? That's when your system starts to break down. That's why combining fasting with quality sleep becomes so powerful. You're giving your body both the rest and the empty space it needs to clean house, hormonally, metabolically, neurologically, and it goes deeper. Your body operates on a 24-hour rhythm called the circadian clock. This clock governs your sleep-wake cycle, your hormone release, and your digestion. When you eat late at night, or stay up past midnight scrolling on your phone, you confuse that clock. You send mixed signals. Your body doesn't know whether to burn fuel or store it, whether to rest or stay alert. Aligning your habits with your biological clock is like shifting from chaos to harmony. Eat your meals during daylight hours. Sleep in a dark, quiet room. Wake up and expose yourself to natural light. These small adjustments send clear signals to your metabolism. Signals that say, we are safe, we are in rhythm. It's okay to let go of stored fat. Think of it this way. You can eat perfectly and exercise daily, but if you sleep poorly and eat around the clock, your results will suffer. But if you support your natural rhythms with smart fasting, early dinners, and better sleep hygiene, your body will begin to change even without a single workout. That's not to say exercise doesn't matter, but it's not the whole story. Fasting and sleep, the things we often overlook, are just as powerful, sometimes even more so, and they don't cost anything. No equipment, no gym, just awareness and a willingness to try something different. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You're just out of rhythm. And getting back in rhythm doesn't require a total life overhaul. It requires intention, patience, and the belief that your body still knows how to heal, if you let it. There is a kind of aging that sneaks up on us. It doesn't announce itself with sudden pain or dramatic symptoms. Instead, it moves slowly. A little more stiffness in the morning, a little less clarity during the day, a deeper fatigue that sleep never seems to fix. And behind it, almost always, are 3 silent drivers: excess salt, ultra-processed foods, and stress that never seems to let go. Let's start with salt. Most people think of salt as harmless, just a way to make food taste better. But when consumed in excess, especially from restaurant meals and packaged products, sodium becomes a quiet saboteur. It doesn't just raise blood pressure. It damages your blood vessels, accelerates cellular aging, and inflames your body's natural defenses. Inside your cells, excess sodium interferes with the way nutrients are transported and waste is removed. Over time, this creates a toxic environment that leads to inflammation. That inflammation doesn't just make you feel tired. It lays the groundwork for chronic conditions: heart disease, kidney trouble, cognitive decline. The body becomes more vulnerable, more reactive, and less able to repair itself. Now combine that with ultra-processed foods. These are not just fast food or obvious junk. They include seemingly innocent items in your pantry: crackers, cereals, frozen dinners, energy bars. What makes them ultra is not the cooking or packaging. It's the long list of chemical additives, artificial colors, preservatives, emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, added sugars. These compounds are designed to make you crave more, eat more, and store more fat. And the worst part? These foods hijack your brain. They light up the same reward centers as addictive drugs. That's why it's hard to eat just one chip or cookie. They override your natural hunger signals and make you think you're still hungry even when your body is full. You end up eating more calories than you need, and most of them are empty, offering no nourishment, only chaos. That chaos is exactly what your body tries to defend against. But over time, those defenses wear down. Your metabolism slows, your insulin sensitivity drops, your fat cells grow larger and more inflamed. This is how the aging process accelerates quietly, meal after meal, year after year. And then, there's stress. Chronic, unrelenting stress. Not the kind you feel for a day or two, but the kind that lingers. From work, from caregiving, from life changes, from simply feeling like you're always behind. This type of stress keeps your body in fight or flight mode. It floods your system with cortisol, a hormone that, in small doses, helps you survive. But in large doses over long periods, it becomes toxic. Cortisol tells your body to store fat, especially around your abdomen. It increases cravings for salty and sugary foods. It interferes with your sleep, and it makes your cells age faster. Your immune system becomes weaker. Your gut lining becomes inflamed. Your brain starts to feel foggy. And slowly, almost invisibly, your body begins to break down from the inside. Here's the truth. It's not just what you eat, but how you live. You can't out-diet chronic stress. You can't outrun poor sleep or ignore the quiet toll that too much salt and too many processed foods take on your body. But you can begin to reverse the damage. You can cook more at home, with real ingredients. You can choose simpler meals made from whole foods that don't need a long label. You can pause before reaching for the snack and ask, am I hungry or just overwhelmed? You can take short breaks during your day to breathe, to walk, to reconnect with your body. These are not small things. These are signals to your metabolism, to your immune system, to your nervous system, that you are no longer living on autopilot, that you are reclaiming control, one mindful choice at a time. There's no shame in having followed the path that society laid out for us. Fast food, fast lives, fast rewards. But now, you get to choose a slower, stronger path. One that nourishes rather than drains. One that supports healing instead of hastening decline. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware. Because once you see what's really happening beneath the surface, you begin to realize aging is not just a number. It's a process you can influence every single day. When people talk about feeling older, they often mention aches, slower healing, more frequent illnesses, and the sense that their body no longer bounces back the way it used to. What they are describing, often without realizing it, is a breakdown in their internal defense systems. Systems that once worked automatically to repair damage, fight off threats, and keep the body in balance. The good news is this: those systems are still there. They may be tired, suppressed, or overwhelmed, but they are not gone, and with the right support, they can be restored. Your immune system is your body's first line of defense. It identifies and eliminates threats, from viruses to cancer cells. It also plays a crucial role in wound healing and tissue repair. But a lifetime of poor diet, chronic stress, environmental toxins, and inadequate sleep wears it down. The result is low-grade inflammation that simmers beneath the surface, weakening your response to illness and accelerating the aging process. One of the most effective ways to restore immune strength is by calming that inflammation. And here's where food truly becomes medicine. Take oats, for example. Not the instant kind, but whole oats. The same ingredient found in skin creams and healing balms. Oats contain bioactive compounds like avenanthromides and beta-glucan, which have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. In lab studies, these compounds have been shown to speed up wound healing, reduce redness, and stimulate the growth of new blood vessels, essential for regenerating tissue. Even more surprising, these oat compounds promote scarless healing. That means not only does the wound close faster, but the skin heals with its original smoothness intact. For scientists and surgeons, this is a kind of holy grail. And for everyday people, it points to a larger truth. The body still remembers how to heal deeply, if you give it what it needs. Another key to recovery is collagen. This protein gives structure to your skin, bones, and joints. As we age, our collagen production declines. That's why skin sags, joints ache, and injuries take longer to heal. But inflammation doesn't just slow collagen production, it disrupts the quality of collagen that is produced. Instead of a tight, woven structure, you get tangled fibers, which leads to scarring, stiffness, and weakness. To rebuild collagen naturally, you need 3 things. First, the building blocks. Amino acids from protein-rich foods like fish, eggs, legumes, and bone broth. Second, the catalysts. Vitamin C, zinc, and copper, which help assemble collagen fibers correctly. And third, a low-inflammatory environment. Because even with the right ingredients, inflammation will sabotage the process. That's where lifestyle matters. Less sugar, more sleep, gentle movement, more whole foods, less processed junk. These are not trendy tips. They're signals to your body that it's time to rebuild, that the threat is over, that safety has returned. And then there are polyphenols, compounds found in colorful fruits, teas, herbs, and vegetables. They reduce inflammation, protect your cells from damage, and help preserve the integrity of your blood vessels. Strong vessels mean better delivery of nutrients, faster healing, and more youthful tissues. One fascinating effect of certain polyphenols is their ability to recruit stem cells, your body's internal repair team. These stem cells can transform into whatever the body needs: skin, bone, cartilage, nerve. But they only activate when the environment is right. That means a clean, nourished body has access to deeper healing than one that is constantly inflamed and stressed. You don't need a lab or a hospital to support these processes. You need time, consistency, and respect for how your body truly works. So the next time you think about your immune system, your joints, your skin, your energy, don't just reach for a quick fix. Think about restoration. Think about calming the fire inside and giving your body a chance to remember what it was built to do. Because healing isn't about reversing time, it's about cooperating with it. There comes a moment in every person's life, sometimes quiet, sometimes dramatic, when you realize that no one else can save your health but you. Doctors can guide, supplements can support, advice can motivate, but at the center of it all is you. Your body, your choices, your willingness to tune in again. For many, that moment doesn't arrive until something goes wrong. A diagnosis, a scare, a level of exhaustion or weight gain or brain fog that simply cannot be ignored anymore. And when it comes, you might feel overwhelmed, even hopeless, like the damage is too deep or too old to fix. But I want you to know something. Your body has not given up on you. No matter how long you've felt off track, there is always a way back. Your cells remember how to burn fat. Your immune system remembers how to fight. Your metabolism remembers how to heal and energize and balance itself. The blueprint for health is still inside you. It has not been erased. It's just been covered up by years of stress, poor sleep, processed foods, sedentary living, and constant distraction. What you need is not more pressure, but more perspective. Healing doesn't begin with guilt or fear. It begins with curiosity, with listening, with asking, what does my body really need right now? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. What you need is to start paying attention to the signals that your body has been sending you all along. Fatigue, inflammation, belly fat, restless sleep, sugar cravings. These are not signs of failure. They are messages. Your body is trying to tell you that it's time to return home. That return starts with understanding. That's why we've explored the difference between harmful and helpful fat. Why we've looked at the power of brown fat, the importance of fasting and sleep, the danger of stress and ultra-processed foods, and the incredible healing capacity found in simple, natural compounds like oats, berries, and coffee. Each of these is not a magic bullet, but a signal, a way to turn your internal systems back on. You are not installing new software. You are activating what was always there, a brilliantly designed operating system that knows how to detox, defend, and thrive. Imagine for a moment your life 1 year from now. You wake up with more energy. You move with less pain. You think more clearly. Your clothes fit better. You no longer dread stepping on the scale or walking past a mirror. You feel steady, calm, and confident in your choices, not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent, because you finally trust your body again. That life is not a fantasy. It is a possibility. And it starts with small, intelligent actions, choosing whole foods, drinking clean water, sleeping 8 hours, turning off screens at night, taking deep breaths in the middle of stress, learning to say no to what drains you and yes to what restores you. The path to healing is not linear. Some days you will slip. Some meals will be less than ideal. But every time you choose nourishment over numbness, rest over reaction, movement over stagnation, you are sending a message to your body that you are back in the driver's seat. And here's the most beautiful part. The body responds. It listens. It adapts. It begins to let go of the fat it was holding onto for survival. It begins to calm the fires of inflammation. It begins to rebuild the tissues that time and stress have worn down. This is not about chasing youth. It's about claiming vitality. Not the energy of a 20-year-old, but the grounded strength of someone who has lived, learned, and decided that the second half of life will not be a slow decline, but a steady rise. You are not broken. You are simply waiting to be reawakened. And the time is now.